Hello, welcome to PlayStation Access. My name's Rob, and welcome back to the Tuesday checklist. You know the drill by now. It's Tuesday, and we're filming ourselves chatting about games because we chat about games all the time anyway, and at least this way we can make it productive. This week we've been getting all excited about the Walking Dead collection coming to PS4 on the 8th of December. A brilliant bundle of choice-driven stories set in Robert Kirkman's pop culture devouring zombie apocalypse. And that got us thinking about all those times we've made choices in video games we went on to properly regret. Choices, the consequences of which we never saw coming. Nathan's first up to tell us all about his expert playthrough of Heavy Rain.
So my entry for terrible choices that I never knew would end this badly really were a series of choices that I made, but for good reasons, and I did not see the end result coming the whole way through. And this is in Heavy Rain. I really loved the style of it, and also young father. I was quite emotionally affected by the death of one son and then having to rescue the other, which happens at the beginning of the game, right?
And your son's called Jay.
Yeah, which is the same, right? Yeah, Jay's son. It's almost as if, the universe was trying to tell me something. What the universe was trying to tell me was that just let the police handle everything. If anything like this ever happens to me, don't really get involved because you play a series of different characters, all working towards finding out who the origami killer is. Basically, Ethan goes through a series of sort of trials put to him by the origami killer to make sure that he's a good dad. And my feeling was, I was so intent on this one son has been squished now, he's roadkill. I'm going to save this other one no matter what it takes. So I was head down, anything the game asked me to do, I'm just going to do it instantly. There was the one scene where I think you had to cut off your finger. I was just just slam, bang. And the game is all oh, drama, finger. Do you want to take it up? And I was yeah, bang, it's gone, don't mind. There's another one, you run into a drug dealer and you have to kill this guy. He's been dealing drugs to kids, I guess. And you go into his house, you've got the gun, he's kneeling in front of you. He says, what does he say? Oh, I've got kids, I'm a father. And I was just pop straight away. And then Ethan says, I'm a father too. And I was yeah, I'm a father, come on Ethan, we can murder our way to saving our child. And by the end of the game, I was getting quite frantic. I really wanted to make sure that all these choices were adding up to the result that I wanted. And so I started making probably decisions with other characters a little hastily. So I think I had Madison was investigating, she was in the office of the private detective and it went on fire. And I was I just want to get to the next scene with Ethan really so I can find my kid. So what's the best way to escape? I'll go over to the window and she looks down and I was it's 2 floors up. I was this is going to be fine. Jumped out, it totally wasn't fine. She ended up dying. So that's one character out the way.
Oh,
I didn't really have the patience with the kind of FBI man to get him...
His glasses?
Yeah, his magic glasses. I didn't really have the patience with him to work. I think I had all the clues, but I was just whatever. And I kind of knew as I was progressing, the game it just seemed a bit disappointed in me. Are you sure? And I was yeah, just what, next scene. And I arranged it perfectly so that as I rushed to rescue Sean at the end of the game, the Madison wasn't there to help me, first of all, so I was Ethan. The FBI man hadn't solved the case, so the police still thought that Ethan was the origami killer. So I rescued my child, was instantly shot by the police, and my ending was I guess my own funeral or Ethan's funeral. Madison's death, the FBI man has had a nervous breakdown and his career's over, and just the origami killer's just poking out from behind a tree, just going hi, and that was my ending. Thanks to this, but I took those decisions in good faith.
But you saved Sean, right?
Yeah, he's fine. So yeah.
Just doesn't have a dad.
Long-term mental scarring.
Or a brother, yeah.
Okay, so for my terrible choice that then led to events I really didn't expect to happen or didn't want to happen, I'm going to have to talk about Skyrim, I'm afraid. When I first played it on PS3, one of my favourite quests was the Forsworn quest, which happens in Markarth, which I ended up going to as a result of getting drunk with Sam Guaven on that weird quest. And I was doing the main story, I went into a pub and there's this guy saying, do you want to drink with me? I was yeah, okay. And then you black out and you wake up in Markarth, which for me was on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
So I was I'm here now. and I'll go back to doing that quest. Oh, but wait, what's this question mark over here? And
Yeah.
like an hour later, I was in prison underground
Yeah.
in Markarth with
Oh
the
my
Forsworn. There's a bunch of them all locked up in the mines in Markarth, and the corrupt Silverblood family who kind of rule the roost in Markarth have them performing slave labour under there, kind of like mining silver ore, because the mines are really rich in silver ore down there. Anyway, you do this really long quest where you get to know all the members of the Forsworn, and Madanak, who's like the leader of the Forsworn down there, also known as the King in Rags, and he tells you the Forsworn story, and by the end of it you're like, hey, these guys have got a point. And it's a really quite interesting piece of storytelling, because you end up like charging out of the mines with all your Forsworn friends, running into the city of Markarth. There's a big old battle with all the guards, and it's really quite epic. When I played the game again on PS4, I was in the in the same position in the mines, but this time I was like, no, I can't. I want to do this quest later. I just want to get out of the mines. Is there any way I can just get out of the mines really quickly? And when you first talk to Madanak, it gives you a couple of choices, like the bottom one is always like a joke choice in most Bethesda ones, and the joke choice is like, I'd rather die or something like that than join the Forsworn.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'd rather die, and he just goes, okay, and it takes out his knife, and you know, in Skyrim, when a character has decided you're going to die now, and no, you can't, there's no talking anymore, that bit's gone, so everyone in the mines is now in knife mode, and I, luckily, had joined the companions by this point in time and was far enough down that quest line that I'd become a werewolf. I didn't have any other weapons, so I thought, I'm going to have to transform into a werewolf, that's my best chance. Transformed into a werewolf, killed Madanak, wiped out all of the Forsworn in this mine, then reverted back to my human form, stole the keys from Madanak to get out of the mines, but then forgot the fact that to get from the mines to the city of Markarth, you have to navigate this quite not insubstantial area of Dwemer ruins with some quite difficult monsters in them that are not difficult when you're running through with a whole bunch of Forsworn going but when you're just an unarmed naked prisoner on his own, unable to transform into a werewolf, it just became, you know, Skyrim's not a stealth game, but it had to become a stealth game for me to actually get back to the city. And it's just like, I've just made all the wrong choices here.
Yeah.
I should have just done the mission,
Yeah.
and now here I am, just like creeping about like that.
A decision I've made then, of the consequences of which I had no idea, happened right at the end of my game of Mass Effect 2. A game I can proudly say that I've finished. It took me about 2 years. Actually took me about 2 years. It took me 2 years because I played it very slowly. I'd play it in like chunks. I'd play it like for a week, and then I wouldn't play it until the next month for an hour, and then like I don't know what's wrong with me, Ollie. And I also played it extremely diligently. So one of my problems is that I'm a bit of a completionist. If I'm going to finish a game, I finish every bit of it, and Mass Effect 2 was that for me. So I went everywhere, I did every quest. And so yeah, it honestly took me 2 years, I think, to finish the game. Didn't read anything about it, didn't ask anyone about it, I just got on with it. And my last loyalty mission, I think, was Jack.
I know this one.
And I did it, and it was fine, and everyone on my crew was loyal to me, and I was happy, and I was ready for the end. Apart from, when I got back on the ship, Jack and Miranda are having a little kerfuffle. And Joker's like, come and sort it out. And I went and sorted it out, and I did what I thought was right, okay? I did what I thought was right. I also did what I thought wouldn't matter, because I thought, these people are loyal to me now, and I'm the captain, and I've done your stupid mission, Miranda, right? We went and we saved your sister or whatever it was, okay? I'm gonna make a call about this argument, and I'm gonna side with Jack, and you were loyal to me, so it should be fine. And it wasn't fine. It wasn't fine, and obviously she died at the end of my game.
Miranda.
Yeah, and I didn't want that to happen, Rob. I worked really, really hard to be so that everyone was loyal to me, and I didn't know the mechanic of the game was that was important anyway, like for the end of the game. Although it was obviously kind of important for some reason, and I wanted everyone to live, and that is not what happened. And Miranda died because like sometimes when something's happening, a conversation, I don't pay loads of attention to what's happening, and also Mass Effect has one of those conversation trees where you don't know exactly what Shepard's going to say when you click. You read the button, you think he's going to say this. Sometimes I've misinterpreted how BioWare have written it down, and he'll say it, and I'll be like, "Whoa! I did not mean for that to be like that." I can't remember exactly whether I'd chosen that choice, and that's what I was expecting to happen. I was not expecting for her to take it so badly and become disloyal to me, and then go and die. And personally, I think that's unfair.
So terrible choices that I've made in games. Romancing in video games is like the most important thing you'll ever do, right? You've got to pick the right one. 100%. Like
we're talking Dragon Age or Mass Effect?
Neither, actually. Don't be like that.
The Witcher?
No, we're not talking The Witcher either. The Witcher has to be Yennefer, even though I'm a massive Triss fan, and so that's not even a choice anyway. It has to be. If you read the books, it makes sense if it's Yennefer. You can't pick Triss, even though she's better. Everyone prefers Triss. Anyway, it's actually Persona. Actually 5. So I was playing this, and it's all you always get to pick a waifu. You always get to pick a waifu in the Persona games. Yukiko for me in 4.
Yeah.
Can't stand Chie. Sorry.
I'm the same. Yeah.
She's fine. She's your mate, but you wouldn't date her.
Exactly.
She's like Garrus for me in Mass Effect. She's like your best friend. You just don't date that one. Anyway, so I was playing Persona 5. And I was building up my rank with Anne, who's one of your sidekicks. Yeah, Anne's really cool. And then one day you're chatting on the roof, and Anne's really upset. So you go to give her a hug, and then you kiss her, and there's not even an option to stop this happening. And then it's like, you're now in a relationship with Anne. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. She's the wrong one. Maybe, I don't know, I'll leave it. And then I met Makoto, who is top tier. I was so upset. As soon as I met that character, I was like, she's the one.
Oh no.
And I'm in a relationship with Arn. I was like, where's the get out of relationship with Arn button? How do I tell Arn that it was just a mistake and you were upset, so I hugged you? Don't be so needy. It was a complete mistake. And so then I leveled up my friendship with Makoto. And then so it turns out you can 2-time them.
Oh no. Oh dear.
So I sort of, I'm not, I completely wussed out. So I get there and it's like, you sort of trigger the scene where if you go forward with it, you'll then be in a relationship with Makoto. Because now I know what to look out for.
Yeah.
Now I'm an expert in that. And I sort of stood, I was like, I can't.
You didn't do
I
it.
can't do it. I was like, I just want to be with Makoto. I couldn't, because apparently you do get called out for it later on. And I couldn't live with the guilt.
It's like a real life situation where
It is, where I'm 2-timing all the women I'm apparently dating without realising.
That you didn't want to really be in, and the one you really want to be with, you can't be with.
It's horrible. I spent the whole game totally guilty because I was leading Anne on, even though it has no effect on the game whatsoever. But knowing deep down that actually I loved another.
Is there not a way to leave, Anne?
No.
Wow.
No, that's forever.
Oh God.
It's a forever decision.
Wow.
She's yours forever.
Yeah.
Because you hugged her on the roof.
I know.
You shouldn't have
Sorry.
done that.
I'm full of regret.
No, Makoto is the best waifu. And I never had her.
I don't remember cutting it. That's not a choice, is it? Either. A tiny little bit of your finger versus your child's life.
Maybe
I've
you
got a
don't
game
like
for us to
your
play,
child.
Rob.
Maybe you just didn't like it.
No more fingers.
You know I would happily scissor off any part of my body, Dave, if it meant beating you at something. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment to tell us about any video game choices you regret, and join us again next week for another Tuesday checklist.